In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on December 14, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Navy versus Army. After a thrilling and eventful regular season in college football, the most anticipated time of the year has finally arrived. The conclusion of championship week last weekend officially signaled the arrival of the inaugural 12-team college football playoff, marking the beginning of the highly anticipated bowl season. However, before we dive into bowl games and experience the new college football playoff system in all its glory, one final regular season game remains. The prestigious Army-Navy rivalry game will take place this Saturday afternoon at Northwest Stadium, home of the Washington Commanders, and it promises to deliver an exciting and memorable conclusion to the season. The Navy midshipmen will face off against the Army Black Knights in this annual showdown on Saturday at Northwest Stadium in Maryland. The midshipmen enter the game with an impressive 8-3 record, including a victory against East Carolina just 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Black Knights are riding high with an 11-1 record, capped by a strong victory over Tulane in the American Athletic Conference Championship. Last season, Army secured a narrow 17-11 victory over Navy, and they will be looking to repeat that success this year. While the Navy midshipmen have had a solid season overall, they have faced difficulties in the second half of the year. They have dropped 3 of their last 5 games, including a disappointing road loss to a struggling Rice team. On the other hand, the Army Black Knights have been a dominant force throughout the season, suffering only a single loss, a defeat at the hands of a ranked Notre Dame team. Army comes into this matchup with high momentum, having just secured the American Athletic Conference Championship with a victory over Tulane last week. A major factor in Army's success this season has been their formidable rushing attack, which leads the nation in rushing yards. Their triple option offense is particularly challenging for opponents to defend against, and this will be especially advantageous when facing Navy's defense. The midshipmen have struggled to stop the run, allowing an average of 159 rushing yards per game, which ranks them 85th in the nation. Additionally, Army boasts a defense that has been particularly strong against the run. Navy's offense, which relies heavily on the run as well, will face a tough challenge against Army's defense, which is ranked 11th in the country for rush defense. It seems unlikely that Navy will be able to have much success on the ground against this formidable defense. Although it is always cautious to bet on a large spread in a rivalry game, especially one as intense as Army-Navy where points can be hard to come by, Army has been dominant in recent matchups. The Black Knights have won 6 of their last 8 games against Navy, and in 2 of their last 6 meetings, they have secured victories by a margin of 7 points or more. Navy, despite their solid 8-3 record, has not been immune to blowout losses. In fact, all 3 of their defeats this season have come by 14 points or more, with an average margin of loss of nearly 29 points. In contrast, Army has won 10 of their 12 games this season by at least 7 points, and their defense is so strong that it won't take many points to widen the gap in this game. Army's dominant performance against Tulane in their most recent game is indicative of the kind of game they are likely to play against Navy. The Black Knights' defense has stepped up in a big way, and Navy will likely find it difficult to move the ball effectively in this contest. Bryson Daly, Army's standout player, is expected to have another huge performance, and this game could get out of control early. While Army may not run up the score unnecessarily, the talent gap between the 2 teams is significant, and Navy will struggle to keep up. Coming into this matchup, Army is in a strong position with just 1 loss on the season, and their impressive victory over Tulane to win the conference championship last week only adds to their confidence. The Black Knights have been incredibly successful on the ground this season, though it is always a challenge to break through offensively in this historic rivalry. Navy, after starting the season with a strong 6-0 record, has faltered in recent weeks, losing 3 of their last 5 games. Their offense has been inconsistent, which will be problematic when facing a team as well coached and dominant as Army. The Black Knights enter this matchup as the better team overall, and I have full confidence in their ability to score between 20 and 30 points. Given the disparity in team quality, don't be surprised when Army wins this game by a margin of at least 17 points. Therefore, the Army Black Knights to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In previous years, the Army-Navy game has been characterized by low-scoring affairs, with final scores often landing in the upper 20s or low 30s. Both teams have exceeded expectations this season, with each squad greatly surpassing their preseason projections and consistently outperforming market expectations. Navy began the year on a strong note, racing to a perfect 6-0 start, but they experienced some struggles later in the season due to injuries and facing tougher opponents. Nevertheless, with an 8-3 record, the Midshipmen have had a successful season overall. On the other hand, Army is enjoying its best season in recent memory. The Black Knights just completed a remarkable 11-win campaign and capped it off with an impressive victory in the American Athletic Conference Championship game over Tulane. Bryson Daly leads a potent Army offense that ranks 4th in the nation in success rate, 10th in expected points added per rush, 8th in expected points added per dropback, 6th in expected points added on early downs, and 3rd in net points per drive. With an offense that is firing on all cylinders, Army should have no trouble moving the ball against a Navy defense that ranks 83rd in rushing success rate allowed, 77th in 3rd and 4th down success rate, and 63rd in points allowed per drive. Given that Navy has faced a relatively weak schedule throughout the season, these defensive statistics are concerning when facing such a high-powered offense. On the other side, Navy quarterback Blake Horvath, who has been dealing with injuries in recent weeks, is expected to start on Saturday. He will lead a midshipman offense that should at least manage to score 17 points against an Army defense that ranks 93rd in success rate allowed, 76th in early downs expected points added, and 93rd in 3rd and 4th down success rate allowed. I'm a bit surprised to see the total set at 38.5 points. With clear weather expected, Navy has a potent offense that has consistently been able to generate points, scoring over 34 points in all but 4 of their games this season. Navy is likely to incorporate a more balanced attack, involving the passing game more than Army typically does. Despite their slower offensive pace, Army's offense has been able to score in bunches this season, with 5 games in which they scored 40 or more points. On the other hand, Navy's defense has been far from perfect lately, allowing an average of 27 points per game in their last 5 contests. With Army capable of scoring quickly, it wouldn't be surprising if they contribute a significant portion of the 38.5 total on their own. Despite the historical trend of low-scoring games in this rivalry, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Western Michigan versus South Alabama. On Saturday, the South Alabama Jaguars will face off against the Western Michigan Broncos in the Salute to the Veterans Bowl, set to take place in Montgomery, Alabama at the Crampton Bowl. South Alabama entered their final regular season game with a 2-game winning streak but was defeated by Texas State 45-38, which ended their streak. The loss left the Jaguars finishing 4th in the West Division of the Sun Belt Conference. Meanwhile, Western Michigan was able to secure a 26-18 victory over Eastern Michigan in their last game of the season, snapping a 3-game losing streak. The Broncos finished 5th in the Mid-American Conference. South Alabama's quarterback, Gio Lopez, is currently questionable for the game, while Western Michigan has 3 players listed as questionable. Additionally, Western Michigan will be without 5 players who have opted out of the bowl game to enter the transfer portal, 2 of whom are on the offense and 3 on the defense, including a pair of defensive backs. The Western Michigan Broncos managed to pull off a crucial victory in their season finale, edging out their rival Eastern Michigan in a hard-fought battle. This win kept Eastern Michigan out of the postseason while also securing Western Michigan a spot in a bowl game. This bowl game is a rebranding of the former Camellia Bowl, marking its 11th year in Montgomery, Alabama. Over their last 4 games, Western Michigan has struggled, going 1-3 straight up and against the spread, with the under hitting in 3 of those games. Their offense has averaged just 18 points per game, while the defense has allowed an average of 17 points per game in their last 2 outings. outings. The Broncos are making their first bowl appearance since winning the Quick Lane Bowl in December 2021. However, the team has faced some challenges as tight end Blake Bosma, who led the team with 37 receptions, 403 yards, and 6 touchdown catches, has opted to enter the transfer portal. Additionally, starting defensive linemen Corey Walker and Antonio Thompson have also decided to leave, further depleting the roster. The South Alabama Jaguars will make a relatively short trip up Interstate 65 to Montgomery, bringing along a likely strong fan presence due to their proximity to Mobile. However, their season ended on a bitter note with a high-scoring 45-38 loss to Texas State on November 29. Like Western Michigan, South Alabama has also struggled in recent weeks with a 1-3 record against the spread in their last 4 games. That said, this bowl game presents an interesting dynamic as both teams have faced significant challenges, but the Jaguars' geographic proximity to the venue gives them an advantage. With Western Michigan having experienced player defections and struggles in recent weeks, South Alabama seems to be in a better position to claim victory. Furthermore, the Jaguars' home state advantage will make this feel like a home game for them. South Alabama's offense should prove to be difficult for Western Michigan to contain. The Jaguars have averaged 35 points per game and have a highly effective running game, averaging 194.3 rushing yards per game, which ranks 27th in the nation. They will face a Western Michigan defense that has struggled to stop the run, allowing 186.3 yards per game, ranking 111th in the country. South Alabama's defense, while not perfect, has been solid against the run, ranking 64th in the nation, and should be able to limit Western Michigan's strength, which is their running game, averaging 188.3 yards per game on the ground. On the other hand, Western Michigan will be without one of their key offensive contributors, tight end Blake Bosma, who has decided to enter the transfer portal. Bosma was not only a top receiver but also a key blocker in the running game, meaning his absence will likely hurt both the passing and rushing attacks. Moreover, Western Michigan's defense, which allowed 31 points per game during the regular season, will be further weakened by the loss of 3 defensive players, including 2 defensive backs and 1 lineman, who have also opted out. South Alabama appears to have the best player on the field in quarterback Gio Lopez, and their high-powered offense could be too much for Western Michigan's struggling defense to handle. The Broncos have been one of the weakest teams defensively this season, ranking 101st in total defense and 109th in scoring defense. Given these numbers, South Alabama should be able to exploit the Broncos' defensive vulnerabilities and score with relative ease. Furthermore, South Alabama has been successful against the spread when favored by 7 or more points, covering 7 of their last 10 such games. Conversely, Western Michigan has struggled to cover the spread, failing to do so in 7 of their last 9 games as an underdog. Based on these factors, the South Alabama Jaguars to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The total points for the game have gone under in 6 of South Alabama's last 9 games, and with both teams boasting solid running games, it's likely that the clock will run down quickly throughout the game. South Alabama's offense will likely sustain long drives thanks to their strong running attack, while Western Michigan, with their own run-first approach, will similarly control the clock. As a result, both teams are expected to run the ball frequently, reducing the amount of time spent passing and leading to fewer overall scoring opportunities. When looking at recent offensive trends, South Alabama has scored an average of 35 points per game over their last 5 contests, while Western Michigan has been averaging just 18 points per game in their last 3 games. Given the strong ground games and the team's recent struggles to put up points, it is likely that the total will fall under the projected number. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.